Okay. Plastics. Now we came to, so we have discussed simultaneously when we are discussing about the properties. We are discussed about the advantages and disadvantages too. Am I right? Yes, we have discussed advantages of synthetic fibers at the same way disadvantages too. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of synthetic fibers? There are much more advantages than the natural fiber. What are the disadvantages of synthetic fibers? First one is they are not much comfort than the natural fiber. Second one, they are highly inflammable. They catch fire easily because they are raw materials. They are obtained from petroleum and some more chemicals. Understood? When they burn, what happened? They convert into beads and they'll stick to the body. That's why when we are cooking, when we wear that apron is also made up of pure cotton. Then only we need to preferably wear when we are going for cooking or any other. And during Diwali season or Diwali festival, what we are preferably wear? Natural fibers, that is cotton. Because though it catches fire, it won't convert into beads when it catches fire and they won't stick to the body. And when we wear synthetic fibers, they easily catches flame and immediately they'll stick to the body. So these are the many disadvantages, and they won't absorb sweat. So they'll feel more warm when we wearing synthetic fibers rather than wearing natural fibers. So all these are the disadvantages with synthetic fibers, and we know the advantages because we have learned that the properties of synthetic fibers, and we also compared with natural fibers. Yeah. Any doubts? Any doubts? Shall we go with plastics? Yes? Shall we go with plastics? Yes. So here, plastics, simply we can say that plastics are versatile, flexible material, suitable for us in our daily life. So we know that we shouldn't use plastics, but even though we are fond of using plastic because they are much more comfortable than like using any other material. Okay, that's why we are replacing the plastics. Like we are not exactly stop the complete usage of plastic. We need to ask ourselves, in our perception, introspect each and every one we are using it. Even we are using pens. Yes? Pens are made up of plastics. Yes or no? So all these things, if we see, look around in our particular room, we can see that many items are made up of plastics. But how to replace plastics? Yes, now we are going to learn about the thermoplastics, thermosetting, and how they are obtained, and different kinds of structures and everything we are going to learn. Okay, so these plastics plays a major role in our day-to-day life. Why they are replaced with any other materials? Now we are going to learn the advantages and how many disadvantages we are facing with plastics also. We are going to discuss. Understood, children? So here plastics are of two types. One is thermoplastic and the other one is thermosetting plastics. Before discussing thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics, we need to discuss about the polymers based on their structure. Plastics are also obtained from polymers only. So before going to learn about the thermoplastics, thermosetting plastics, let us discuss about different kinds of linear and branch structures polymers which are present in it. Okay, so what are the linear and branch polymers? Especially we observe all these things in plastics. So when we go with linear polymers, each monomer is connected chemically like fibers only. They are linear, like straight chain. They are straight chain without any branches. So it doesn't require much heat to break the bonds. So they easily catches fire and they melt and they mold so that we can prepare different kinds of plastic from these linear structures. Understood, children? Understood? Yes or no? So linear means no one monomer is connected when we are standing in a straight line and we can hold our hands like this. Simply we can say that that is a linear polymer. Understood? Yes. So when we see the branched one, so each monomer is connected to another monomer. It's like a branch. Or sometimes like this also. So this branched polymers or plastics, they are very hard. They are very hard. When we compare to linear polymers or linear kind of plastics, they are very much hard. So we can see the second one. We can see the second one like this, simply, not going with the complicated structures. Simply they are branched with one of the monomer, like this. Understood? So this branch required some energy. So we can say that this plastic required excess what we can say, excess heat to break the branches. So linear polymers doesn't require much energy to break because they are linear in a straight shape, so that it requires limited, so that we can mold it and convert into or recycle the branch. When we go with branched, it requires better than linear polymers. When we go with cross-linked, it's like simply we can say that cross-linked is like this. It requires much heat energy to break the bonds. And we can say that it's a better or a strong plastic. Now we can differentiate what is thermosetting and thermoplastics. Simply we can say that it's a thermoplastic. And the other one is the much more stronger is network polymers, and it is a much more strong plastic. Simply we can say that handles of pressure cookers, microwave materials, and switchboards. Okay, switchboards are also made for this networking plastics. So we can see that all the blue color ones, all the blue color rectangle shaped blocks are nothing but, or square shaped blocks are nothing but, they are monomers. So there are different kinds of linear, branch, cross-linked, and network. Yes, thermoplastics are simply, we can say that linear and sometimes branched also, but they are not much stronger than cross-linked or network like plastics. Understood? Network like plastic. Understood? Any doubts? Any doubts, children? Okay. What happened? No. So now we are going to learn about the thermoplastic. Thermoplastic plastics that are soft and then heated and becomes firm again when cooled are called thermoplastic. You can see here this is the correct spelling, and here I couldn't it's like overlook. THERMOPLASTICS plastics. Example, polythene or PVC pipes. Simply. So PVC pipes, simply we can say the branch one, and here polythene is completely a linear chain-like structure. So once we can thermoplastic means thermoplastic can recycle it. We can easily recycle the plastic once the product is gone. After some days, if we don't want the product or the usage of product is completed, so what they'll do, they collect that polyethylene plastics and they'll recycle it. They heat it, they'll convert it into molten state, and they can recycle it and they can prepare one more kind of product. So it is not like a setting of one-time plastic. It's like we can again reuse the plastic by using it many times, by heating it, converting it into molten state, and by passing it into the molds, we can get different types of plastic. Recycling the plastic can be easily done by thermoplastic because it can't bear with higher temperature. Examples, polythene and PVC. Any doubts?
Ma'am?
Yeah, Ronald.
Ma'am, is there any thermoplastic which is very hard?
The PVC pipes are hard. When we compare to polythene, PVC pipes are hard. So we call them as a casing pipes. When we dig the bore well, they can't use the metal digging pipes or anything because they'll undergo rusting. So that's why they'll go with the PVC pipes to handle it, to carry it. They're lightweight. Right? When we compare with the polythene, PVC is much more stronger than polythene.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I have given 2 examples so that you won't have any doubt. Thermosetting plastics that mold, if once the plastic is molded into or set into one kind of material, we can't recycle the plastic again because it cannot become softened on heating further. That's why it's called thermosetting. Setting means once it's set into particular product or particular material, it can't recycle it. Then it is called thermosetting plastic. They are very hard when we compare to thermoplastic, and they are thermal resistance too. Thermal resistance means they can bear with a higher temperature, not too high. We can't go with infinity. Up to some extent, when we compare to the plastic, they are much harder. The best example I can give with thermosetting plastic is cooker handles. You can see the non-stick handlings and everything. These we can see that they can bear with higher temperature. And here we can see that all these all these materials like kitchenware, these are micro oven kitchenware. So we can insert things, or we can directly heat the food or warm the food or cook the food by using this plastic material, because once they set, they can bear with higher temperature. Or we can say that flooring tiles also. Flooring tiles. Understand? Flooring tiles or sunmates, or we can see that it's like fiber that being placed on the top of the tables. Okay. So because once it's set into one particular product, it can't easily melt or convert it into one another product after heating, because it can bear with higher temperature, because they're completely like microwave crockery are made up of Teflon. Means Teflon is different. We are going to learn now. Teflon is a coating, shiny coating like thing which cannot easily melt, right? Or it can easily absorb the thing, and it is used non-sticky things. Like without oil also we can use Teflon layer, but it's not good for health. But we are fond of wearing using a non-stick crockery or kitchenware. Okay, but it's not good for health. Is that the plastic is good for health? Plastic is good for health. Ma'am, today's fashion. Everything is today's fashion only. That's why we are like this now, because of this corona or COVID. All the things, once what we can say that when we do the good deeds, we'll get back the good things only, good deeds only. Knowingly or unknowingly, it's not healthy. Yes, Teflon is not healthy. But we are fond of using some of the how it can't melt with a normal temperature, but when we are using it, there is a chance of going something inside. Yes or no? It's not healthy, but we are using it. It is much more comfortable. We are only thinking about oils. Am I right? With limited oil, we can cook the food easily. Or non-sticky cook. Yes, we'll think about it, but the main reason beyond it, almost all the man-made things, there are many side effects with it. But don't stick to that. Now we need to go. We can't do all these things. Try to avoid it. Okay? Yes or no? That's why we are going with baked food nowadays. We are going with boiled foods. Even now we shouldn't eat all the fried food. Why we need to? We shouldn't. Yes, now we have forgot our health in this fashionable way. Definitely. Now we are fond of about health. Now we are taking care because of this like what pandemic situation. Now we are eating or we are concentrating on multivite food. Yes or no? Once we'll get, then only. If we'll get once the less marks in presence of everyone in the class, then only we'll get that what we can say igniting that spark in us. Then only we'll start reading. Yeah? This is also one kind of thing, whether it is good or bad. Whatever is the situation, we need to learn from it. We can't run from the situation. We need to face it and we need to learn. And one more thing, prevention is better than cure. Yes, now nature is playing a major role. See how pollution is reduced. Like when we gone with complete pandemic situation, when we gone with completely like we are at homes, we improved the thing with the family atmosphere also developed. Yes, that's what. Whether the situation is negative or positive, we need to take it in a positive way only. But teacher is saying all this. So, mommy, I'll go out and I'll just meet nature and come. Okay, no problem. Don't say like that, children. Yes? Don't say like that. Preventive measures are very, very important. We need to listen to the elders, whatever they are saying. They know better than us. Us in the sense, I am the elder one here. So whatever I am saying, you need to listen. Yes? So we are relating the present situation with the topic. We are just integrating the concept. Okay? Don't go beyond it. We are integrating the concept. So whatever deeds we are doing, that is reflecting us now. Am I right? Yes or no? Okay. So thermosetting plastics, once they set into one particular thing, we can't we can't recycle the plastics. Okay, by heating it, like how we are doing with thermoplastics. Yes, because they are thermal resistance. Not to like metals, but they are some extent we can say that they are thermal resistance.